crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and I am excited to be actually back home from the beach. We had an amazing week this past week and got to really have some fun with the grandkids and do a lot of fun activities. But I will tell you, when they say there's no place like home, that was absolutely true. It was good to get away, but it was good to be back. The worst part is, oh my gosh, I got to go back to work tomorrow. And I can tell you, absolutely not looking forward to going back tomorrow. But it is what it is. It is how I pay the bills and it is how things happen. So I'm not sure. It just seems like life has just been crazy lately. So much going on. Let's see who's in the chat this afternoon. Joydy was first in. She says, welcome, John. See you in 30 minutes. Hey, Miss Joydy. Thanks for being here. Balloon's from Tucson is in the house. Welcome in. There's Miss Inez. Hey, thanks for being here this afternoon. Mama Jan's here. Welcome in. Miss Bridget's here. Thank you, Miss Bridget, for being here this afternoon. She dropped in early today and gave me some homemade marinara sauce. So we are very excited about that. And yes, John snacked on some homemade biscotti. So it's amazing when you have such good friends like that appreciate the work that goes into the garden, but we share and they share back. It's amazing. Hey, Gene, thanks for being here. And there's Russ. He says, hi, John. Hi, Chad. Happy heated Sunday, right? It was too funny. We got so used to being at the beach. It was nice to be in the ocean. It's a little cold the first few days just because of all the storms that they were having in that. But by the end of the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, all the storms had passed. The ocean was warm for what we're used to about this time of year. It was just such a difference after just 3 or 4 days. And then I'm reading about all the heat wave coming through, and my daughter's like, "Yeah, this is not fun." And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't understand. It's only 93, 95 here in South Carolina, but when you get home to Virginia, apparently it's going to be back in triple digits." So her weather is actually worse than ours. I mean, we're hot, but yet it's a dry heat. And let me tell you, dealing with the humidity this past week, it's a big deal. Hey, Inez, she says, love your sweater. Thank you. I'm a big Donald Duck fan. Oh, Nightbot's working. See, Nightbot works for me. I don't want to jinx that whatsoever. Hey, Dawn, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Daphne from Newfoundland, Canada. Lord, I couldn't get Canada out. Thanks for being on with us this afternoon. It is just crazy. So I am glad to be here. I will tell you, I have never been an American Airlines fan. I tend to fly them because they are probably as consistent as most. And with them having a hub here in Phoenix, it does work out, right? But it was so funny. They did things for me this trip that had never happened to me on any other trip, right? Because I've traveled for years and years for work and everything. So I've kind of been there, done that, heard that. It's like, yeah, whatever. So going to Myrtle Beach from Phoenix, we had to stop over in Dallas at Dallas Fort Worth and make our connection. And I had to argue with American because they kept giving me like a 36-minute connection. And I'm like, I'm old and fat and I'm not running. American being American, they did give me like a 2-hour layover, which was great. Then they also gave me, they changed gate, I think, 3 times on us. But of course, they don't change gates from like A12 to A22. They change from Terminal A to Terminal C to Terminal D. Just craziness. We finally get to the last gate that supposedly our flight is at, to only find out that now our flight's delayed going to Myrtle Beach. We were about 40 minutes late taking off. And the reason they gave us for the delay is because they couldn't find anyone to clean the aircraft. So until they could find a cleaner to come clean the aircraft, we wouldn't be able to board. So I had to give American credit. That is one I had never heard of. That was different. Of course, the aircraft wasn't what I consider clean, and believe me, post COVID, it's not. They're not cleaning like they used to. So I just laugh. It's like, really? I mean, eh, you can't get frustrated. You can't be mad because it is what it is. I mean, you just can't do anything about it. So when I travel, I really just kind of, I don't have a lot of patience, but when I travel, I think I just know it's all out of my control. So it just doesn't matter. So just too crazy. But we ended up getting to Myrtle Beach and we had a good time. Hey, Michelle's Crafts and More. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Candace is in the house. There's my buddy Katie from the Greenland Quilter. Hey, Katie, we got to figure out some time to get together. We will make that happen soon. Tell you what, it's hard to believe. Guys, can you believe I've got next Sunday? And then we've got the holiday quilting bee. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe June's almost over. And we haven't been back to the park home since Memorial Day, just because of everything else going on. So I don't know. That's next on the list. So we'll get there. We're going to spend about a week actually up at the park home. So we definitely need it. And the park home needs our time. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I am really trying to hydrate and did absolutely realize that I came home completely dehydrated. What else? Oh, so let me finish the story about American, right? So going out were delayed because they couldn't find a cleaner to come clean the aircraft, which that was entertaining enough. But then coming back, we had to fly Myrtle Beach to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte back to Phoenix. And so we get to Charlotte, and I have to say, I'm disappointed in Charlotte because they're just not keeping up. It just seems dingy, dirty, and just it needs a lot of love and affection. It seems like anymore. And of course, we land like in E10, and we have to get to A12, I think. Again, American had booked me for like a 32-minute, 38-minute connection. I had to call and argue with them and go, look, again, I'm owed, I'm fat, quit giving me these fast connections. I need at least a couple hours because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go eat something. I was right. We get off the plane. So my partner had to gate check a bag because he had his laptop and all that, but it was too big to fit in this. I wouldn't even call it a puddle jumper anymore. It was like a Coke can. I never saw such a small plane. It's just been that many years. And anyways, we get on this small plane. It's a 30-minute flight from Myrtle Beach, so it's not that big a deal. It takes longer to land in Charlotte and taxi all the way downtown and back to uptown, and then finally get to your gate than it does to fly from Myrtle Beach to Charlotte. And that was fine. We get there, we get deplaned, we have to go over and wait for the bags. And then an agent finally comes over and goes, well, they can't get the luggage door open, so they've had to call maintenance. So y'all just need to stand here and wait. So there's about 12 of us waiting to get gate checked luggage. Then I told my partner, I said, you do realize like we're not getting any bags, right? So they can't get the door open. So we're not even going to get our connection, the bags for our it was like, and it literally took them 40 minutes. They never gave us any updates. You never see anyone up, and we're standing in the gangway by ourselves. I mean, it's like, really? I mean, all the security, all the craziness that you all talk about, but like you all just leave a bunch of passengers standing. Of course, they can't board the next flight. They can't, and it's like, wow, it's just I don't know, just amazing to me. So it literally took 40 minutes. So had we kept the original flight, we definitely would not have made it. And then one of the passengers waiting goes, "Look, we've got a short connection. Like, can you all just check our bags?" And she goes, "No, that's not our responsibility." And she's like, "So you can't get our bags off the plane, but you're going to make us miss our connection?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." She said, "We'll rebook you on the next flight." Uh, I thought, oh my gosh, I thought that's why I will not do a fast connecting flight. So it is what it is. But we made it back home and we are very happy to do so. Katie says, can we talk soon? Yes, Katie, we absolutely do need to talk soon. Uh, I'll try to get you in the next week or so. I can tell you next week's going to be crazy for me just being out of work for a week. So and I didn't do what I should have done. I have not checked email. I have not checked voicemail. I did finally reach out to one of the guys that works for me. He goes, "Oh, it's been really quiet. Things have been fine. You don't need to check email. It'll all be good." And we saved everything for Monday anyway. So I have no idea what I'm walking into tomorrow. And at this point, I just don't care. It is what it is. So we'll see how things go. All right, let me see. Did I miss anything? Oh, Inez is here. Hey, Miss Inez, welcome in. Thanks for being on this afternoon. Candace is here. Judy's here. Hey, Judy, welcome in. Thanks for being on this afternoon. All right, so that was my American Airlines story. Other than that, I got to be with Ava Lynn. I got to be with my grandson. We did all kinds of fun things at the beach. We went to Gatorland, which they call it Adventures in Alligator World or something, whatever. But it was actually one of the nicest parks I've been to. Uh, they actually did a show where they came out and brought a snake and let everyone see the snake. They wouldn't let you touch it. And then what else did they do? They brought out an alligator, and everybody got to go pet the alligator if you wanted to. I didn't need to, but the grandkids did. So the grandkids got to pet an alligator. We did go to Broadway at the beach. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Anyways, it's where Paula Deen is. I got a bunch of Paula Deen stuff again because I just like Paula Deen. I like her recipes. I do cook some of Paula Deen stuff. I just don't happen to cook. I just don't follow her recipes. When she calls for 2 sticks of butter, I know that probably a half a stick is all realistically that needs. And we got to eat at Wahlburgers. I love Wahlburgers. And it's hard to think Donnie Wahlberger is worth $25 million. And of course, he's been on Blue Bloods, and he was in the boy band and all that. Mark, the baby brother, is worth, I think, 400 million. We were looking some of that up while we were sitting there eating. But that's kind of become tradition for us. We go to Wahlburgers every year, so that was fun. Jody says, "Did you get to any of the quilt shops?" I did. So if you missed last Sunday, I did get to the quilt shops, and I will show you because one of the things my partner fell in love with was this Halloween fabric. And so we ended up buying a couple of yards of it. And this is the companion that goes with it. And so I have cut this out to make what I'm calling a 4-patch. Um, so I am going to make these into a 4-patch. And it's so rough. So I'm going to do 3 rows of 4 patches and then 3 at the bottom and 1 on each side. And I think I'm going to use the one in the middle as a blank and do black there and do something embroidered there, so it'll end up kind of jumping out. So we'll see. He just fell in love with this, so I did cut that out. The plan was to work on that tonight because I definitely want to get my machine going again. It's been just so crazy. All right, let's see. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So I did get to the quilt stores to answer your question, Joy. I ended up spending $300 at the quilt store. I did buy another Halloween set that was very neon type, and it was really amazing. I really liked the way it turned out. And I bought some fall fabrics, and that they had some really nice fabrics on clearance for $4 and $5 a yard. So I ended up buying a bunch of that. And then I came home, and I know my neighbor. I know my neighbor's like, "What in the world is this guy doing?" So I came home to 3 boxes of bolts. So I just got about 30 new bolts of fabric. So we're in the process of getting that matched up and starting to put some of the kits out on Etsy. And just to mention, if you placed an order on Etsy in the last week, we greatly appreciated that. And I did get up early this morning and get all of those orders put together. So you should have received an email if you did place an Etsy order, and that will be coming out soon. So just crazy. Jody says Ava is adorable. Thank you. She is the biggest little ham. Um, it was so funny because she told the teachers at school when I because I had made the quilts for them in the tote bag for, I didn't make the tote bag, but I had the tote bag done. She doesn't know. Anyway, she was telling the teachers that her Papa John is a YouTube star and that she's able to be on the YouTube channel and that she helps, basically helps advise and um, helps run the channel. So she's definitely such a little ham. For 7 years old, I do think she's adorable. So thank you for saying so. Oh my gosh, Sewing with Lorraine is here. Oh my gosh, Lorraine, I have not seen you forever. So I hope you've been stalking because that does feel like it's been forever um, since I've got to see you or chat with you. So he says, sorry to hear that you had a bad flight. Did I miss your unpacking all the wonderful fabrics? You did. So I actually did the unpacking last Sunday. That live was only about 20 minutes or so, and I did it with Ava Lynn because I wanted to gave her something to do, right? Because it's hard. I did not travel with a machine, and I kind of really wish I had taken my featherweight, and so I do think next year that I may take my featherweight with me and help encourage her to want to learn and do some sewing. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet. We know where we're staying next year, and all that's worked out, and we always go the same week. So, problem is now we're just waiting for them to open reservations. So, yes, I did do an unveiling of the fabrics that I bought at the beach, and I will be working on one with all the bolts and everything that I just got in. I've got them out of the box, but that's literally about all I've had time to do today because had laundry to do, and Lord knows this house needed some cleaning, but that didn't happen. Wahlburgers is great. Yes, thank you. Hey, Sally, welcome in. She says, I almost missed this. Girl, how did you miss this? I am glad you are here. You are always welcomed in. Oh, Jordy says, I did watch the replay, but I forgot what you bought. I thought you did. I did buy a bunch of fall fabrics because I really wanted to get into some fall stuff, and I'll have to show you a couple of things that I did this morning. Hey, Charlotte, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Jody says, next time you go away, take us with you. Tell you what, you were close enough to North Carolina. You could have just slipped down for a few days. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so let me show you some other things I've been working on. Um, oh, so I found this quilt pattern or table runner pattern. And then I was like, I've got to quit doing table runners. I don't know what I am hung up on table runners right now, but it is what it is. But I found this really simple table runner, which I'm assuming is supposed to be like a 10-minute table runner, which we all know there's no such thing. Anyways, I really liked the way she put this together and the how quick and that it seemed like it was going to work. What I didn't like is I just don't like flimsy. I want my table runners to be stiff, right? I want them to be hard and have some stability to them, some body to them. So I ended up cutting the fabrics in that the way she said, and then I actually applied SF 101 to all of it. Fortunately, I bought a couple of bolts from Joanne because it did take quite a bit. I do have a better idea now how I would do it, but of course, instead of doing one and then saying, okay, on the next one I'll do this, I just did two. So I cut two all together at the same time. But I did get this first one done this morning, and I think it turned out really cool. I was so happy with the way that looked. And Danielle is going to be so jealous. Look at those Halloween gnomes. And the only thing I've debated about is because once you get this done, you go back here and top stitch across here. You top stitch across here. This is not meant to be quilted, and I'm fine with that. What I debated on is whether or not I wanted to top stitch here, but I did press it and iron it. It's definitely stiff. It's not going anywhere. So I only top stitching I did was here, right here, and here. But anyways, I was really happy with the way this turned out. I think that's going to make a really cute table runner for Halloween. not that I needed any more table runners. And what was funny is she showed this with Christmas and played Christmas music and all that. So all I knew I had exactly the Christmas fabric I wanted to um, do one of these. And then I walked by my stash this morning and saw Halloween, and I was like, oh, but I could really make a cute Halloween one. Not that I needed another Halloween one, but it is what it is. And then I did this one for Christmas. And look how cute this one is. I was so excited how that turned out. And again, I top stitched it in that just like they did. And I did use the SF-101 on it, but I really like the way this turned out. To me, these are like the perfect size. And these just went together so quick. So I may end up doing a bunch of those as Christmas presents and that. And oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. But like housewarming gifts and that, because we get invited to parties and that, and it's always nice to have something. The one thing Mama Jan has taught me is she never shows up without something in hand. Just crazy to me because sometimes you just want to see people, but it's okay. Um, we always appreciate presents, don't we? Luane says, Katie, yes, I'm buying the Amtrak Rail Pass, so going to make a full vacation, uh, going to Raleigh, DC, DC to Boston, Boston to Seattle, and then Seattle to home. I um I have looked at that rail pass. It's interesting you talk about that, Luane. I have thought when I retire, I would absolutely love to have that rail pass and spend some time on the train. I think that would be such a cool thing to do. Unfortunately, we don't have a train in Phoenix of all crazy things. I think our closest train, balloonist would know. I think the closest train is actually down in Tucson. So if you want to catch the Amtrak, I think you have to go to Tucson. Um, Russ says, how long did it take you to make those table runners? I'll be honest, about 30, 35 minutes. The first one probably took me about 40, 45 minutes. And the second one, I don't think took me more than 30, 35 minutes. I was really surprised how quick they went together. Now, I'm not counting necessarily all the cutting time. The cutting still went pretty quick, but I doubled the cutting time because of wanting to use SF-101 on it, but I just really like the way they came out. I just like the feel of those, and they just feel sturdy to me. I don't know why. I know a lot of people do that 10-minute table runner without, and it's just the fabric. But I don't think they needed the batting. I don't think needed anything else. But I definitely like the way they feel now. Mhm. Yes, Balloona says yes. Tucson. See, I thought so. Ines says Christmas is my time of year. Mine too, girl. Well, Christmas is absolutely probably my favorite holiday, but definitely number 2 would be Halloween. I just like both of those. I just like I think it's because I like purple anyway, so the orange and purple and all that just makes sense to me. So that was good. Russ says, "Hey, Lorraine, where have you been hiding out?" See, Lorraine, we've all been missing you. It wasn't just me. I thought maybe I'd just been missing. Mama Jan says, "I love riding on a train and fun when it's overnight. $500 for 30 days. Oh, Ines says they don't have the train either. See, it's just crazy. Oh, Jordy said the trains over in Charlotte, they're dangerous. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem too, is that we're just not equipped in this country for trains. It's just kind of sad because I think it would be such a fun way to travel, especially if you have the time in that. But I took the train years ago from Fredericksburg to DC just because we wanted the kids to experience, we wanted them to have time going back and forth, and all of that, and we had fun. So, well, Loane says I have 30 days to do 10 stops, but you don't have to do all 10 or 30 days. I think that's kind of cool. Hey, Maureen, welcome in this afternoon. Thanks for being here. I am just rattling on. I'm back from vacation, not ready to go back to work, but I am getting some projects done. So that is what's important. Okay, he says, I hate doing domestic flights in the US. I don't blame you. Yes, Joy, I agree. It's not the train, it is the people. It's just, unfortunately, you know, a lot of our train stations aren't located in the best areas anymore. And I don't know. I think it would be fun once you get on, especially if you get a sleeper and all that kind of stuff. I think would be fun. Katie goes, it's like riding on a sardine can. Yes, I understand. The flight I had from Myrtle Beach to Charlotte definitely was. So I did get this cut out today. That is the next project that I am working on. I am not doing the red and green per se. I decided to do it with these red and gold and green and gold fabrics that I have. So they came in 3 different colors. So I have those cut out. And so I am really anxious to get those started. So we will see when John's able to finally get this going. It has been a project that has laid around for a while. But of course, making the wall hanging for my partner seemed to jump in front of everything. You know how that happens. I did get my fabrics in from Matthew over at MX Domestic. I really, really like this pattern and I love the fabrics that came with it. But this crazy tree, to do this tree, they want you to cut all these fabrics really small and then cut these small strips. And I can tell you, it ain't happening. So at the end of the day, John's doing all the doing all these doing the whole quilt in the triangles, and then we're going to go back and applique on top this tree. So we're going to do it John's way and do a modification. I am just not that interested in doing all that finite work in that. And so that is how that is going to turn out. But I really do love the mid-century look in that of these fabrics and how that turned out. What else? Hey, Joanne, thanks for being here this afternoon. Yes, I love my Donald Duck. And on the back, you all can't see, but it's Donald and his butt on the back. So, anyways. Oh, and I got a new Christmas bundle from Villa Rosa, which apparently came out in 24, which I would have thought I was still a member, but I guess they came out with a bundle, but they didn't. So the bundles weren't, part of the subscription club. But I kind of liked a few of these things. I really liked this poinsettia table runner. So as I started going through looking at a couple of things for Christmas, it was like, I kind of want that. And I found this wreath and I really liked the way that looked. And so, I'm looking and it's like, okay, well, if you go order 1, 2, okay, you might as well just go on and kind of pick up a few of the others. I did have the color mittens. I didn't have this Hakoko. There's 12, I think, that was in here. These were like $10. But I ordered it because I wanted this silly gnome. And so I'm really anxious to see how they put this gnome together and what he looks like. And they actually have a long-haired version. So I want to probably do Jerome and do the gnome, and we'll see how those turn out. And so I ended up grabbing the whole packet because it was like, well, if I was going to order 2 or 3 of them, it was kind of worth just getting the whole thing. So too funny. Maureen says that quilt would be pretty even without the tree. I agree. There was something about it when it popped up on Matthew's channel, and I was like, I really absolutely do not need one more quilt kit. And I knew I had all those bolts of fabric coming, but I did it anyway. So it is what it is. Mama Jan says I do Donald Duck. Yeah, I love Donald. Donald's always my hero. So interesting enough, I like to watch the History Channel sometimes, and they were talking about the fact that um, Mickey Mouse was such a good character and such a morally based, well behaved that they wanted a nemesis that could come in and be the bad boy. And Donald Duck is who they chose to come in and do mix things up for Disney. So interesting enough, Donald was always meant to be the more mischievous one to help make Mickey look even better. So whatever. I've always been a Donald Duck fan. I like Donald Duck and Tigger. Those were always my two characters. Oh, Sally says she used to have a front and back shirt with Winnie the Pooh. I just when I saw it, we actually went to the Disney store in South Carolina, which I thought they had closed all the Disney stores, so I was surprised to see one at the outlet. But they had some really cool shirts in that, and I just, again, I like Donald Duck, so. Mm-mm-mm. All right. If you've been watching my post, you've seen that I'm getting back 4 quilts complete from the long armor. If you haven't seen and are interested, you can always jump over to the Facebook page. I've been posting on there, trying to do better about that. But the long armor that I'm working with seems like a super nice lady. I know she's got a gamel, and she's texted me. She helped me pick out some of the patterns and threads and that. She's very thorough. But every time she loads one of your quilt tops on her machine, she takes a picture of it on the machine and that, and then she usually takes a post picture with it being quilted. So I'm really anxious. She got all 4 of mine stitched, quilted out this past week. I'm hoping she only meets on Fridays to collect and meet back and forth. So I'm hoping she'll have mine done this week. If she doesn't, it's no big deal. It's not like I'm in a hurry. But I'd given her 4 quilt tops. I'd given her the spring quilt that I had worked on. I gave her the flamingo quilt I worked on. I gave her our Memorial Day quilt with the red, white, and blue and the gold stars. And the purple quilt that I just finished. So I ended up taking all 4 to her. She's got them all quilted. For $5, she'll trim them and get them ready for binding. So, like, why would you not pay her $5 if she'll fool with all that? But I actually paid her to do the binding. So I'm kind of excited when I get them back. They will be done and complete, which will kind of be cool. Um, which just makes it all the more sad, right? Because I need, at the end of the day, I need to be doing my own quilt tops on my machine, but it is what it is. Sewing with Lorraine says, well, Donald does walk around without pants on. I guess that is very true. That is very true. Ina says, your quilts are beautiful. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. Lorraine says, I never understood Goofy and Pluto. One is a dog and the one is human like dog. I know it's just, it is so crazy. It's Disney is has such a variety of characters in that, but makes it fun. We did watch. I know you'll be surprised. We did watch a few Hallmark movies while I was on vacation, but better, we did watch a few Disney movies, and I ended up seeing Lilo and Stitch. So we are probably going to go see Lilo and Stitch next weekend. My partner really likes that movie and has asked about going, and then we just didn't really get it worked out. And so we'll probably go next weekend because it's still pretty popular and still going. I think it opened Memorial Day weekend, and but he's anxious to go see that. But it worked out because FX or PBS or whoever was running um, the Disney Marathon had Lilo and Stitch. So I was able to see it because I had never seen Lilo and Stitch. And so that was interesting. So I did get to watch that on vacation. So that'll be fun to get to go see that. I'd actually like to go to one of our dine-in theaters. I think would be fun. I haven't been to one for quite a while, and it is kind of fun to go see a movie and just do the dine-in experience and that. Here locally, Harkins is a big one for us, and they do have a new dine-in theater that's fairly close to us, so we might do that. Our driver that typically takes us to the airport shuttle and that was telling us he's got a place over in North Scottsdale that he really likes to go and how cool it is. So we might go there, but we'll figure it out the next week. So, because first thing is I got to get through all of next week. So, but yeah, that's what's crazy, right? Next week I've got to get through. We've got to get through next week to only turn around and go back to the following week. I only have to work Monday, Tuesday, and then I'm off Wednesday. And I have got to get ready for the quilting bee. So if you have not um, grabbed your pattern, there is a free pattern that we will be using for the holiday quilting bee. I did pick a table runner, just trying to mix things up. I did decide to do Christmas in July, so I'm not doing something patriotic since we had just done something patriotic for Memorial Day. Since we did the Villa Rosa design and did such a big design for Memorial Day, I thought it might be more fun to do something small. So if you have not, go over and look at the YouTube around the holiday quilting bee. It will show you where to go download the pattern. It is a free pattern from American Quilters. And I have yet to still pick my fabric and get mine ready, but I will be ready, folks, on July 4th, 7 a.m. Please plan to participate and be around. I'm excited for the holiday quilting bee. I think we will have fun. We always seem to make things work out. And then what else? We'll have gifts and all that. Joy says, can you show the pattern again? No, I cannot because I don't have it in this room. It's over in the other room and I don't have it with me. But I can run and grab it. You all want to wait just 1 second. So crazy is that. So let me run and grab it because I know exactly where it is. So it's kind of like a modified log cabin. I don't like the fabrics. I mean, I didn't pick the fabric or the pattern based on what they're showing, but it is called Yule Log, and it is by allpeoplequilt.com, which is part of the American Patchwork and Quilting magazine. So, but it's allpeoplequilt.com. Yule Log is the pattern that we will be using, and I do think it will be a fun, not simple pattern to do, right? I wasn't looking for something just quick to put together, but I was looking for something that would make sense. And I think that checks all the boxes for us. So, if anything, even if you're not able to join the live on that day, you should at least go out and grab the free pattern, right? And they have tons of patterns on that website. I had no idea that the American Quilt Society or whatever it is had put out so many free patterns for us. So that is really cool. So go out and take a look at that. And I'm changing, sorry guys, I'm trying to change a bobbin so I can do some stitching. There we go. Cool. change my thread. Sometimes I forget to change bobbin, and I had just finished doing the Christmas table runner, and then I had to get the instruction book out for Jake here because I needed red bobbin, and I buy all pre-wound bobbins, but I buy gray, linen, black, actually pure white, and didn't realize I didn't have red or any, like, so I had to figure out, I had to go, number one, find a bobbin case, and then number two, get the instructions out to make sure I knew how to wind a bobbin, because I've never wound a bobbin on here because I don't like being bothered with that. But I was kind of proud of myself that I actually achieved that and got it done. And I know you're all laughing, going, really? But it's just, I don't know why I always have trouble with the tension on bobbins, and I think that's why I started using all pre-wounds, and I don't have those issues anymore, and I don't have to deal with it. But anyway, so that's not the case now. All right, let's see, where are we at in the chat? Wow, I've gotten way behind. Jody goes, Hallmark Christmas movies in July start very soon. Yes, they do. They start next week, I think on Friday. And so I am very excited. I do love my Hallmark movies. Sorry about that. Oh, Bridget says, go see how Train Your Dragon. It is awesome. We actually talked about that. I want to go see Mission Impossible, but we did talk about that because that was another movie that was coming on last week, but we haven't seen it. So I do think that would be fun to go see as well, because as hot as it's gotten here in Phoenix now, one of the things fun to do is just go to the theater, because Lord knows you can't do you don't want to do too many things outdoors, and that's for sure. Let's see, did John get this first one put together? Come on, baby. There he is. Look how cute this is going to be when this comes together and you get all 4 blocks done. I think that's going to be awesome. He just fell in love with this fabric. So that was cool. It's nice when someone tells you, man, I just love the way that fabric looks. It's like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. So, hey, Barb, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Can you show the pattern again? I did, yes. So, and like I said, it is called, it's allpeoplequilt.com. So it's a really cool website. I had not been there. So it's nice to just, sometimes I just thought it would be fun to have a free pattern and something that could be simple for us. Jordy says, I have tons of Christmas fabric. Jordy, I bet you're just a mess, and I bet you have probably as bad a stash as I do. Um, Although I don't know. I tell you what, it's almost become like a disease. It's just like, wow, I know my neighbors were like, this guy's got to come home. I can't just keep coming over every day and emptying his porch. And it's like, of course, as soon as I go out of town is when everyone decides to start shipping all the stuff to the house. But I can't help when it comes. It comes when it comes. And I need to get it done because, yeah, it's hard to think that we're planning that New Year's Eve retreat. We've got so many activities and things that we want to do. And it's like, everybody goes, well, it's 6 months away. And it's like, you do realize July's almost here. So now that makes it like 5 months away. It's just, I don't know where the year's going. Just crazy. Lowain says, I haven't wound a bobbin in over a year as I bought 140. Yes, see, I don't blame you. I wouldn't have had a knot really, since I had the red backing on that. I felt like I had to use red, and that I just wasn't going to be happy with anything else. I almost used black, thinking it'll blend in enough and make me happy. But I thought, you know what, you just need to quit being lazy and get the book out. I keep the book right here for that reason. And I was actually kind of proud. It made me feel good, actually, because um, you all know I've been through many, many machines, and I do love my Jukis. And that bobbin wound and behaved and did what it was supposed to so easily. I was like, okay, see, maybe I don't need pre-wound bobbins because maybe the Juki. I think the Juki just gets me. Like it matches my personality. We're both a little hyper and spastic, and that's okay. I mean, I think Juki makes a good machine, and I think there's a machine out there for all of us. And I think it's important we find the machine that works for us. And Jake here certainly works for me, and that's what's important. Uh, Becky says, what's Becky says? Did you buy much fabric, John? I bought $300 worth of fabric at the beach store, and I did show that on the live last week. So it is sitting out there. I did not bring it in today, other than just this Halloween fabric that I'm working on. And then, of course, I bought that other more neon type fabric. And this was actually said 2024 on it. So our stores, I just didn't see, but I don't think Halloween's a real popular out in this area. So our stores just don't carry as much. And I just don't get into the Phoenix stores that often, mainly because I spend way too much money when I go to Phoenix. So I just avoid that. As Joydy says, I already have enough. So it is what it is. I do need to get the gifts put together for the holiday quilting bee. So we will be having some giveaways. And so I want to figure out what those are. We will have a variety of those to do. Charlotte says, I use mostly glide pre-wound magnetic bobbins in my Juki. I love them. I do too. So I am using, what am I using? I use the Magna Glide, which is, which is glide. So yeah, that's what I use it all the time. That's all I use, with the exception of today. I need it red, but that's really an exception because most everything I can usually blend one of those in, but I had no idea I was going to need red, and it's okay. I can wind a bobbin occasionally, apparently. So I'm proud of myself, right? Because I'm growing. I'm not as good as Russ, who gets to play bobbin chicken all the time. I tend to throw mine away when they get a little down on me. Jody says she pleads the fifth. I know what you're referring to, girl. Um, Jordy said red was a great choice. Yeah, I think so too. Well, Wayne says I did try to sew on a Juki at QuiltCon, and it kept breaking the thread as it kept pushing the foot pedal wrong. Yeah, yeah. It's just I think um, we all figure out what machine works for us. Hey, Jeannie, thanks for being here this afternoon. I appreciate that you dropped in. So, yeah, plan to be part of the holiday quilting bee, even if you're able to only join for a little bit or all 3 hours. We'll chat. We'll have a good time. Danielle was on for Memorial Day. We had a big old time. I do have some guests coming up starting next month after July 4th. And so, trying to invite some folks over to be on the channel. And so I hope to do that. It's amazing. You watch Sean, and it just, I don't, Sean like finds someone that just has 200 subscribers and have just started their channel, and he always manages to snag those in that. He is an amazing guy. I need to have him on my channel. I have never had him on my channel. Um, and I need to reach back out to him. I know his summer is crazy with the kids and that. He just posted something really cool. I've been on Sean's channel twice, and Sean actually helped get me going very early on. And it's just amazing how he has shared the love, shared his knowledge, and helps one another. Again, I always talk about how blessed I am to have the YouTube family that we do. I think it is amazing what we've got, and I think that's what encouraged me to want to start doing some quilting retreats and that. is it's just that sense of community that I enjoy. I am so blessed and fortunate to have the quilt guild that I have here. The women in that guild are beyond amazing. They have been so accepting of me. They have helped me in so many different ways, really enhance my skills, make me comfortable being in the meetings and that. I hate because obviously I live in a retirement community, so most everything's done on the during the week, which doesn't work for me, but we do have some activities on the weekends. And when I can get to those, we just had our AccuQuilt Club this past Saturday. So, of course, I was at the beach, so I didn't get to go. But again, always enjoy being with them, learning from them. Mama Jan has helped me out so much. Bridget's helped me out. It's just very fortunate that I have the support group that I do, and it's because of folks like you all that make it possible for me to get on here, rattle on, chat about different things happening, be able to share now and have like the holiday quilting bee. I missed Russ's shenanigans last weekend because because we had just gotten to the beach. And so I was not able to jump in, but I was hoping to at least jump in and say, hey, but that didn't happen, but I enjoy when he has his shenanigans and that, because you never know what he's up to. And so it's just fun that we have such a supportive community that in this crazy world and everything going on, that we can just share something and kind of break away and step away from all the chaos of the day. So this week will be fun getting back to work, getting all that figured out, trying to put all that stuff together, and but I'm kind of excited. We'll see see how that turns out. I do want to get a couple of projects to take for up there. I do want to try to be take something up there that I can finish. So I do have several new June Taylor quilt as you go things, several tote bags from her, and I've been wanting to get more totes done. So I think I may actually take a couple of those and try to get those done while I'm up there, because I don't think they're, even though I do have the Juki, I think it's 2000 up there. Um, you know, every machine stitches out the 1/4 inch a little different, and I learned that when I tried to come back and match everything up on the purple quilt. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I thought I was doing so much better, but Mama Jan said it's because you can't go from machine to machine and think that a 1/4 inch is exactly the same on every machine. So I'd like to try to take projects up there that I know I could just get knocked out and finished while I'm there. Sally says, I agree, Joy, never enough fabric. It's not need, but want fabric. I agree. I tell you what, if you all could see, so if you're on my Facebook page, I did post a picture of the fabric that came in. I just have bolts and bolts of fabric everywhere right now. And I know my partner is just shaking his head, going, what did you do? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to start building out the kits and stuff for the retreat. And if I don't get a jump on those, I'm trying to get the website back updated because we've got the whole 2026 schedule ready to go out. So I'm trying to get that up and running. And it's just too many things going on. And then work just gets in the way. And then I wasn't able to play the lottery this week because I play online, and apparently you have to live in the state where you're playing, and of course that state has to accept online lottery. So Arizona does, which is great, but unfortunately South Carolina, I don't know if they didn't, but because I wasn't a resident it didn't matter. I would have had to get back in the car and go physically buy a lottery ticket. Excuse me. And so that was just not happening. So I keep thinking, if I pop that lottery, can you imagine how much fabric and how much fun we could have? Then we could go crazy. I might even fly out and go shopping with Joydy one day. Just never know what could happen then. 'Cause then we could just start a whole new collection. Katie says Sean has been such a good mentor and friend to me. He is. He is just amazing. He is just such a nice guy. Every now and then I'll email him something about StreamYard or something going on the YouTube that I can't work out. He's always been so responsive. And if not him, Danielle. Danielle's actually Zoomed with me a couple of times because one of the things I can never figure out, I just could not get the closed captioning to work. Didn't matter what YouTube video I watched or how I put it together, it just wasn't going to happen. And so, and Sean had emailed me some instructions that, but Danielle was good to jump on a Zoom with me and walk through. But then she'll also give Sean credit and say, that's what he did for her. And I think we're very fortunate that a lot of the other channels sometimes get bigger, and it's great that folks are able to grow their channels so large in that, but it also makes it harder sometimes to have that community. And I just don't, I just don't see that happening with Sean. I think he's just such a not just people pleaser, but he's just so involved in the whole community aspect. And so I have a lot of respect for him. He's great. And then I got Russ. I mean, I like to aggravate and pick on Russ, but I text him about different questions and that, and Russ has always been there to support me. So we do have a good community. Sally says, Jody will just enable each other, right? How cool would that be? I think that would be fun. Wayne says, I'll have to limit my time on the Shop Goodwill sites as I will bid on all the fabrics and quilts. Oh, Jody, thank you. She says, I'm welcome anytime. You are a sweetheart. Thank you so much. I do get to see Miss Sally next year. QuiltCon is on our events list. I've already made my hotel reservation. So with QuiltCon being in North Carolina, I will not be making that East Coast trip because I saved that for the beach, and it just gets to be too much traveling back and forth like that. But I will get to see Miss Sally at the Road to California, so I'm kind of excited about that because I enjoy the bigger quilt shows. I'm learning a lot by going to those, seeing different ones. I will tell you, Donna Robertson at 3 Yard Quilts could not have been more amazing. Fran running the cash register. She knew where she needed to be. I bought several kits from them. They were just both dynamic women and just so sweet and welcoming. And have a lot of respect for what they do and what they've done. And actually, just looked at doing doing this with one of their books because they just came out with the big block 3 yard quilts, and I had looked at doing using this Halloween fabric for that, but they were just a little bit more complicated because I wanted something kind of simple because I think this fabric doesn't call for a lot of the half square a lot of activity around it. I don't know. I felt like we wanted to really kind of showcase the fabric this time. And so I ended up not using one of their patterns, but I'm anxious to try. I actually also bought the 5 yard. So I'm kind of anxious to try and look at the 5 yard. So they've obviously made their name, number, and money on 3 yard, and now they're venturing into 5 yard, which I think are great because I think the 3 yards are a nice size quilt, but us wanting a little bit more is always there. It's interesting. My son's girlfriend called me yesterday and wanted to know if I would make 2 queen size quilts for the grandchildren, for his children, um, as they decorate and get their rooms put together because she wants to have it. Um, have quilts and that for them as they grow up, and then eventually, when they get old enough, we'll gift those quilts to them to start their home. So that's something I've got to look at too. It's just plenty to do. Look, Sally says, looking forward to meeting in person. I am too, Sally. You are such a sweetheart, and I so appreciate your support and everything you've done on here. Becky says, I just ordered the Muse fabrics by Three Sisters. I fell in love with the colors. Oh, I did not see it. It's probably a good thing I didn't see it. Um, but I am probably going to stay away. I'm telling you, if you go over to Facebook and see the pile of boats I have right now, it's just crazy, guys. Bernie says, I need to look at that designer. See? All right. I just got that back to, okay. All right. So, guys, we are at the top of the hour. The good news is I did get at least all of the pairs sewn together. So now I just need to press these open and then go back and make my 4-patch and then decide how I'm going to lay this out, put these together. I need that big design wall that I keep talking about. And the problem is I don't have a wall anywheres. Um, but we'll see. Jordy says queen size is big. I never made one that big. I've made 2 so far, and I can tell you, I don't know that Papa John's actually going to do the quilting. We'll see. My partner is says he's going to start learning the long arm, which I really hope, because really would be nice to be knocking out our own. Not even thinking about taking others. It's funny. I've had a couple of people lately go, "Well, would you long arm for me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't long arm for myself." So, but it is what it is. So, Katie, yes, it was good to be here again. I so appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being on the channel tonight. Please hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, and all the things that make the YouTube algorithm happy. Tell your friends, neighbors, and that. And make sure you tell them about the Holiday Quilting Bee, because the more the merrier. And I always enjoy having new faces and new chatters. So, as always, until next time, guys, happy crafting.